Hey everyone, today we're trying out Halal Wagyu beef. This is from an online store called One Stop Halal in LA. My husband was traveling to LA for a conference. He brought some back with him in the suitcase because I didn't want to pay $60 for shipping to New Jersey. So the way you want to treat Wagyu beef is kind of minimum handling of it, and you don't want to use excess spices. We're just going to season it with just salt and some cracked pepper. And even for the pan, you don't really need to use oil. Just use a little bit of the fat that's on the steak. Just render it down to grease your pan, and you want to make sure you use a really hot cast iron. So your whole apartment, your whole house will be smelling like beef. That's kind of just like expected. So you want to sear it about 3 minutes per side. This is a Denver steak, so it doesn't have any bone on it and it's pretty tender. The marbling on this is 9 out of 10. So it has a lot of intramuscular fat, so that's what makes it so juicy. So if you see it cooking, you can see all the juices kind of getting rendered and cooking down. You want to just cook it each side, including the thin sides. So once I take the steak off to rest, I'm just gonna put in some shiitake mushrooms that I've thinly sliced. We're just gonna salt them and then we're gonna cook them down in the fat of the Wagyu beef. And the fat is what's gonna flavor the shiitake mushrooms. So when you're trying Wagyu beef, you don't really need to add anything else, but this was just like a nice little side. And then you want to let it rest for a good 10 minutes. This is probably the hardest part. This 10 minutes felt like 30 minutes, honestly. Make sure you allow your meat to rest, and then we're going to slice it. You want to cut it according to the grain, but with Wagyu, kind of the grain is omnidirectional just because of how the fat kind of like runs through it. So I just cut into strips and then we tried it. It was really good. That was kind of like a medium, and then what I actually did was I went back and kind of fried it again along with the mushrooms, and then I have a more medium to well done steak. What I realized is I actually like it better this way, so I cook it to a medium and then let it sit for like 10 minutes, then slice it thinly, then cook it one more time, and the outside kind of gets a little bit crunchier, and then I don't have that chewy feeling of raw meat kind of in the middle, and then it tastes really good. So Wagyu, the first bite kind of felt like a regular steak, just like better. You don't have to do a lot of chewing. Normally with a piece of steak, you put it in your mouth, you gotta kind of break it down, you gotta work it down a little bit with your teeth. But for Wagyu beef, is already broken down. That's what it felt like it's already to the point where I don't really need to chew it so many times, maybe not like 10 times, maybe like a few times. And I feel like as you eat it, it actually starts to taste better because you realize how much work you normally do with a regular steak versus how juicy and tender like a Wagyu steak is. This is not something we'd get on a normal basis. Just this one steak costs like $65. So this is something that's probably like a once a year kind of thing to taste just to see how it is. But I would recommend the experience at least once, and it was really yummy. It's interesting because as you eat it, the more you like it and the more you realize how delicious it is. The mushrooms on the side that I used, the shiitake mushrooms, gave it a really good flavor. It was a good companion piece to the steak. Aside from salt and some black pepper, I don't think you need any other seasonings. So I hope you guys maybe give it a try, see what you think, and let me know. Thank you.